not the sage on the stage. When I was in the regular classroom, I was the one teaching and telling and making sure they got that information. Now, we guide them to the right answer. Where do you think you'll find it? What do you think you should do about it? If they do, let's just take a logic puzzle, and they don't get the right answer, we don't mark what's wrong. We say, try again. Keep working. But what's wrong? Well, that's what you're going to have to figure out. So, it's just a different way of thinking. The bright child is pleased with his or her learning and very happy. Our children sometimes are very self-critical. We tell them, we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for excellence. You can't be perfect. It's a hard world if you're trying to be perfect all the time. So those are things we work on with our children. Just, you might ask yourself, have I seen any of these displayed at home? And I'll bet you have. Not all of them, but a lot.
Okay. So with all of those characteristics comes two types of mindsets, and one of them is the fixed mindset, and really what that is exactly what it says. It's fixed. People think it is what it is. It's always going to be this way, it's always been this way, and this is what it's always going to be regardless of what I do. So there's less risk-taking with this type of mindset. And what we want for our children and for our students is this idea of a growth mindset, where we can accept the challenges and we can take the risks that are necessary in order to see those challenges through to the end. We can solve problems with unique ideas and thoughts, and we can discuss those ideas. We can accept what someone else is saying, as well as believe in what we believe in, and then come to a solution together.
Our target program is kind of a mixed bag, because we take the, I have to read this because I forget, Common Core Georgia Performance Standards and put it along with our ALP standards, and then that equals target. And what we try to do is differentiate for your child's unique giftedness. And we have lots of ways we differentiate in our own classroom. We have our own ALP standards. We're going to go over most of them in a few minutes, but if you're interested, we have posted them on the blog, the Target blog, and I know we're probably going to say this several times, but go to the Timber Ridge blog, click on staff, scroll down to Target. You'll see Shannon Reagan and Diane Wardrop. Click on either name, it goes to the same blog. And that's where you would find our ALP standards, but we're going to talk about them. Our target program has its own set of standards, and that's kind of the what of what we're teaching. First of all, we have the cognitive growth strand. And the cognitive growth strand is made up of 4 components. We have convergent thinking. Convergent thinking has only one right answer. So it's going to be logical thinking, hands-on equations. If there was a multiple choice test or a fill in the blank, only one right answer. So this is where you reason logically to solve a problem. The second component is divergent thinking. This is creativity, innovation, and it has 4 parts. It has fluency, which is, again, lots and lots and lots of ideas coming out of your head. This might be this form of a brainstorm. It has originality. Are you thinking of something nobody else thought of? It has flexibility. Can you solve this problem looking at it from a variety of different ways? And it has elaboration, where please give details. And just a quick example of that, one of their favorite things to do is a squiggle, we call it. And they take a line or lines, depending on their level, and they have to create something new. But they can't, it has to be complicated. So even their sentence can't be, my squiggle is now a cat. They're going to have to elaborate. My squiggle is now a furry, fuzzy cat that is chasing a mouse through the barn trying to have dinner. Something, whether it's a sentence or the drawing, they need elaboration. The third component is evaluative thinking. Now they're going to rate and judge and decide, and they're going to apply a variety of strategies to solving problems. The last one is relationships and connections, and this is to find this in the world. Find relationships and connections between topics between people, between countries, and we also make relationships and connections in our own classrooms.
And the other set of standards are the affective or effective growth strands. And those are going to be what we work on every single day together. Self-reflection, looking inwards at what you can do or what you've done, and what are you going to do in the future to either continue on the path that you're on, or maybe change what you've done to make next week or the next day or the next even activity better than the one that we just did. Respect for others is pretty self-explanatory, working together. Being a self-directed learner, that's taking initiative, doing what needs to get done, but then going above and beyond what you even think that you can do. Challenge yourself. Sorry, I got distracted. And then collaboration, working together, coming up with new ideas, using someone else's idea to build on your own idea, but then taking one idea to then work together towards a common goal. And then communicating, which kind of has to do with all of those things. Are you able to communicate with yourself as far as what your personal abilities are? And are you able to express those to others? And then are you able to listen to other people and process what they, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought.
So what they're talking about.
What they're talking about in order to communicate and then work together.
Just talk, you have to look at another person's point of view. That's difficult for our kids.
And listening. Not listening to respond, but actually listening to what they're saying to understand. This goes in just to a little bit more in depth to what Diane was talking about with the convergent thinking versus the divergent thinking. Convergent, like she said, having one answer, and divergent thinking, having more than one.
Okay, that slide through me, okay.
Yep.
So where did that come from?
Again, what Diane was talking about, evaluative thinking and relationships and connections, and these are just some examples of that.
All right, we're just reviewing a little bit about what we were talking about in the affective, sorry, the affective, again, self-reflection. Not only their strengths, but we also need to look at their weaknesses. Respect for others. This is this affective growth strand is hard for our children because they all have great ideas. They all want it to be their idea that's chosen. They all want their hand to be chosen first, but you know, we have a classroom full of good ideas, so this is hard for them. And then the self-directed learner, in addition to being self-directed, can they set short and long-term goals for themselves and follow through on them?
So a typical day in Target is made up of the standards that we've just talked to you about, but there really is not a typical Target day. Every day really is different when they come to see us. We try to keep it new and exciting, while at the same time covering the same things every single week. So there's lots of integration between our cognitive and our affective growth strands. The only